What's up, y'all? Patrina Dixon here, the It's My Money lady. I am so excited about this episode. So when I bring this young man on, I'm going to tell you, I'm delivering for you all. I get this question all the time, and I have a person on that's going to get into a topic that I get asked about a lot, and that's multifamily real estate investing. So before we bring him on and start the conversation, I want to remind you, if you're not subscribed, you want to make sure that you drop down below and hit that subscribe button or follow wherever you're listening to this. And in the show notes, you'll have links to my information. You got to remember that I teach personal finance courses, and I teach what I call the financial fundamentals. So to make sure you have that solid foundation before you start working with my guests, so your house won't start falling down, and that's metaphorically. So make sure you have that foundation. You know how to manage the money you already have before you start getting that overflow. And with that, my guest, Mr. Joseph Kimbrough. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, what's up? I'm happy to be on here.
I'm happy to have you. So I laid you up right there, because that's a basketball term, right? I like that. So
Yep.
I laid you up right there. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so my name's Joseph. I grew up in the Dallas, Texas area. Throughout all high school, played basketball. Played partly a semester in college before switching over to go to the Marine Corps. Did 4 years in the Marine Corps, and then after that got into real estate. And started off, very, very, like, how can I put this? I'm talking about I had less than $5 in my account when I got my first real estate deal for $10,000. So I started off as a wholesaler, or sometimes you'll hear me refer to it as a professional deal finder, just so it sounds a little bit better.
I love you. And let me tell you, when I read your site, I think you said $3.60 to be in Was that about right?
$3.68. Yep.
68 cents. All right. So you heard that had $3.68 in his account, and then he acquired $10,000. Was it? Did you say?
Yep. End up buying a property, like getting the property under contract and selling that property to an end buyer, and made $10,000 off that property. And then a few weeks later, did the same thing and made $15,000 off that property.
So let me I got to unpack the covers a little bit on something before we go further. So first, I want to go back to the basketball thing. So you played basketball. I need to know what position, because I'm a basketball fan. What position did you play?
So I played every position: forward, guard.
See, when people say that, I'm like, okay, so you were the Shaq and the Kobe, like that's what you're telling me?
No, I would go out there and get 16 rebounds, but then also score 20-some points.
Okay, so, but what about assists? Give me the assist number. Give me the assist number.
The assist was not that well. I don't talk about the assist.
Okay. Because my daughter
I was not
played.
A passer.
I can tell if you're doing both of those. I know the sport. So listen, my daughter was a treacherous defensive player. So defense also wins games, not just points. So I always like to drop that in regarding basketball. So no assists. What about any blocks, anything like that? Any other numbers you want to give?
So, especially my senior year, I wore number 35 because Kevin Durant was one of my favorite players. I would say I got blocks, but then also when I went to this school, I blocked the ball off the backboard one time, and the ref called goaltending. So from that point on, I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that one anymore.
Smart man. Okay. Then Marine Corps, thank you for your service. So, how the switch over, is it that you just want to, like, I had enough here where I am and I want to go do something else? What was your interest there?
So the reason why I joined the Marine Corps, in truth, I tell this sometimes, is because when I was in college, I went to a private school here in Dallas and played. And the coach, he really loved me there. I was going to be one of the starters and everything for that season. But like my mom, she was more on the single mom side. And so she couldn't really help out. The coach didn't allow us to work because we had practices, and she couldn't help out too much outside of maybe $100 really a month to get. So for me, it was just easier just to say, okay, well, I'll just walk away from playing basketball in college and I'll just go to the Marine Corps so I can have money now.
That works. I mean, that's real life, right? That's real life. Okay.
Yep.
So then you got into real estate. So now before we go into like what this topic, what the show is about is the multifamily real estate opportunity, you mentioned something, and that was wholesaling. Like that, I actually recently I didn't do a show on that. I did a land investing, but wholesaling is another thing that a lot of the listeners are interested in. And I know that's not the main topic of today, but you did dabble in that. So talk a little bit about and make sure that the listeners understand what that is before we go into the next level, I'll call it. What is wholesaling, or what did you call it?
Professional deal finder, wholesaler.
Professional deal finder, wholesaler. So what is that as it pertains to real estate?
Yes, so in real estate, the best entry point for anyone, let's say you're already working a W-2 and you're making 60,000 a year.
Yep.
And you
W-2
want
is
to be
working for an employer. So if you're W-2 and you work for an employer and you want to dabble in real estate, okay, go ahead.
Yes, exactly. And you have time, like let's say you're single, but this really only works if you're single. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't
Why
try
is
this if you're
that?
married with kids.
Hey.
Because look, if you're married with kids, you're gonna have to add extra time in. And you
Oh,
won't want to
okay.
be cold calling. You got kids trying to come after you. Hey, daddy. Hey, mom. Like, you don't want that. And you're trying to
Okay.
cold call, you're getting cursed out. You just had a long day of work.
Okay. All right.
So I'm
That's
gonna
a
tell you this here.
perspective. That's a perspective. Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
it's all about how much you can handle.
Mhm.
So I would say this: when you're wholesaling, this is a way where you can go in and make an extra $40,000 or $50,000 a year and
Mhm.
get you over that six-figure mark.
Okay.
Now, all you're doing really is you're calling these people that are going through pre-foreclosure, hence why you will get cursed out because they're already upset. So you're calling these people that's going through pre-foreclosure, or you might be calling someone like a tired landlord list, for example. So people they've been landlords for a long time, they have rental properties, they're tired dealing with the tenants. So you're calling them and you're saying, hey, look, Mr. Such and such or Mrs. Such and such, are you wanting to sell your property? They're gonna say yes, they're gonna say hell, they're gonna say yes, they're gonna say
Oh no,
no.
you didn't.
they're gonna say they're gonna say a number of things. They might even tell you, like I got told to go back to Mexico one time. If I
Mm,
even sound Mexican.
mm.
But anyway,
So you get a
uh
lot of there's a rejection, there's some anger on the part of the person that you're calling, but you have
yes,
to
there's
have
some
that thick
anger.
skin and keep making those
You got
calls because that
exactly.
you can have 368 in your account and end up with an opportunity that you bring in 10, right? That's what you're trying to tell them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to tell them is if you push through all of that, you can get $10,000 checks, $20,000 checks. I have friends, they've made $100,000 checks in wholesaling. I'm
Okay.
talking about
On one
they had
property.
on one property, they hadn't
Okay.
done a deal in like 3 months. All of a sudden, $100,000, boom, deposit to their account.
Okay, so that's great. And I know people are interested. That may be a different show for another day, but I wanted to make sure people understood what that was. So now you were doing that for a bit. And then what, you got tired of that and you went on to the next, and you still do dabble into that as we get into the next phase, which is multi-family real estate investing. Like what made you go to the next, or are you doing both?
No, so I don't do both. I only
Okay.
do multifamily. And the
Okay.
reason why is because 3 years into that, I was like, okay, I need to build equity. I said, getting these checks is cool. Like I can post on Instagram and Facebook. Look at me, I just made 10,000 today. $10,000 a day keeps the job away, and all this other stuff.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Anything for my show? No, you didn't.
So I used to be that guy posting that stuff, and I'm like, and then I started asking myself, I'm like, but then the people I see in multifamily, like or investments, they don't post checks. They're not doing this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
They're
Oh,
not
wait,
showcasing
stop. Let's stop a moment right there, Mr. Joseph. Is you Joe or Joseph?
Joseph.
Okay, so Joseph,
It's like six
I
of us
want
in my
you to
family.
I want you to restate what you just said. So people that's making the 10,000 checks here or there every 3 months, they're posting. People that's making, go ahead, say it again.
People that's in multifamily, that's multimillionaires and even billionaires, they're not posting checks. They move completely different. In fact, they want to be private.
Oh,
They don't want you knowing how much they
stop,
have.
drop the mic right there. But and this is really important. And I because I think, in the day and age, and I'm gonna just call it enhanced by what we endured in our country through the pandemic is everything. People, the transparency was just off the roof, right? And I think there
Yep.
is, in my opinion, I think there's great to show successes that you have, because like we talked about, people seeing people that look like them, that aspire to do those things, see that it's possible. There's another thing about talking about your finances in the way that I see a lot of people talk about it now, right? And then you and I
Yep.
both know revenue is not the same thing as profit. And then some people, but
Yep.
people don't, not a lot of people understand that, and they see money made, but not how much it took to get there. And whatever that is, time, or you're paying for something to make that money, whatever that is. So that's a really important point. So
Yep.
I'm glad you shared that. So people move in a different way when you at that point. So go ahead, take it from there.
Exactly. And so that's why I was noticing. And so I started learning multifamily because at first I was going to go into buying rental properties because all my peers was like, go buy a single family house. And then I was like, well, if I want 100 houses, I'll be doing this for the next 10 years, man. I'll be 40 years old by the time I have 100 houses. I was like, and then I'm gonna be sitting up here bragging amongst you all, acting like I'm proud that I'm making $400 a month off a single family property.
Mm.
That doesn't wake me up. That doesn't get me excited. So I said, let me move into multifamily. And so I
Okay.
started learning that, like the syndication route. So how do you get these here big 100, 200 unit apartment buildings under contract? And then how do you raise the capital in order to acquire this building? Now you're getting paid the cash flow from 100 to 200 units, and you only have to buy it once.
Mm. And when you, so
So
now when you say, let me make sure I understand. So you acquire the property and then get the people to come in. So that, does that mean it? So let me, is
no.
that the answer?
So the
Yes
way
to
it
that?
works is
Okay.
you get it under contract, and you have an X number of days before your hard money can go, well, hard. I mean, not your hard money, your, what do you call that? Your earnest money can
Okay.
go hard. You have a certain amount of days for that. I mean, certain amount of months for that. So in that time period, you're raising capital, you're raising capital, you're raising capital. And so you need people who can bring 100,000, 50,000, even 25,000. But then you really love when people can bring half a million, $1 million.
Okay, but
You really love that.
let me back you up 1 second. So when you say under contract, right? Just again, the people listening trying to understand, you're not getting into contract with the money. Like, so they're just saying, "Oh, Joseph, sure, we're going to let you own this property." Like when you say
Well,
in
you have to
contract, what does
show.
that mean? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So there's a number of things to go into when you get into this business. So you will need someone called a key partner.
Okay.
If you want to get like a 10, $20 million building under contract, you need someone that's a KP, a key partner. That means their net worth is already there.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
they've had
they're
and
doing it based on that person's that
yeah,
individual's, that's
that's how you'll
okay.
get the debt. That's how you'll
Okay.
get the debt.
Okay.
Because if you walk in and you say, I have no money, but I want debt for $10 million, they're gonna look at you and laugh.
Right. Okay. So
But
now key person, the KP, right? You have the key person, the
yes.
KP, and they're worth whatever their assets, their portfolio is that. Then you have a certain amount of time to get these other people to come in. Say you don't do that. Does the KP take on the debt or the
What
ownership of
happens
what you
is
acquired?
what happens is that earnest money goes hard, meaning a lot of times earnest money is about $100,000.
Okay.
So that's $100,000 that goes straight to the seller, down the
Okay.
drain. You lost it.
You lost it and the property.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what's that time frame between getting in contracts and making the money go hard? Or hard is it goes back to them, or as hard is now it's your property?
The earnest money going hard means that you couldn't fulfill your
Got
part
it.
of the obligation of having X number of money by X date. And so now you're going to lose that money,
Okay. So there's a
that
vested
earnest
interest
money.
in you to acquire people so that Ernest doesn't go hard.
And that's where I come in at.
Okay.
That's where I come in at.
Okay.
Because these syndicators, they're going out there and they're risking all this stuff. They're getting these properties under contract. But then when they need capital, if they need $500,000, or if they need $1 million, then what they'll do is they'll reach out to me and say, hey, Joseph, here's the property, here's the deal, this is how much we need. Can you put this together and bring it to us? And
Okay.
so that's what I do as a fund manager. I'm able to get that money, or I already have that kind of money sitting in my account to where I can wire that money over before their close date.
Okay.
So,
So now, all right. So now we're walking through under contract. KP got you to the point where you're under contract. You now need to go out and get whatever it needs to qualify, like the money that's need to ensure it doesn't go
yes,
hard,
you need the
right?
equity.
You need the equity. So now what you okay, so now you got the people, you got the money, the equity. What's your role? Like your role, are you get paid from the how do you earn income?
I
The
bring the
person,
equity.
you bring the equity from the people that come in, right? But how do you,
Yes.
Joseph, so you brought this money to the property, where you, the person that's interested in being the you, what do you get? Is it a percentage for what comes in? Is it how these things are paid monthly? Like what's your income stream in the process?
Oh, yes. So I get paid cash flow and also acquisition fees.
Okay.
I get paid from when I bring capital to the building. Then it's always an exchange, or sometimes it's an exchange for the part of the general partnership.
Okay.
I'll also bring my fund into a deal as a limited partner, depending on the operators. So the operators I work with, though, they have 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience. They own over 10,000 units.
Okay.
They own 6,000 units in one geographical area. They they're very, very established.
Okay, got it.
And
So you're
so,
okay, got it. So you know there's a
yes.
so let's talk about that market. So you now KP, you work through the KP, you need to do this by a time frame. And who is your market of people that you go to? Where do you go to find these people that may be interested? And then what's that conversation? Oh, I have this property. Your percentage could be X, and what do you share with them about the property to get them in?
So when people invest into my fund, they're buying units of the fund. And so by them buying units of the fund, they get to share in the benefits and the passive income of every property the fund acquires
So, okay, the
or has
fund
acquired
is a
already.
building. When you say the fund, is the fund
Fund
purchase
is
a multi?
like a real estate fund.
Oh,
So
like a
think of
real,
like
okay, got it, got it, got it, got it.
yes.
So because I want to make sure that we're bridging the gap for people that's listening, and help them with that. So the funds, what is that? And then how that translate into the multifamily? Like, is the fund and the multifamily one and the same, or could that fund be more than one multifamily?
No, fund is completely separate. I can set up a fund and buy car washes. I can set up a fund and buy emergency rooms. In fact, my partners, they own a chain of freestanding emergency rooms here in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Okay, got it.
So
So multifamily specifically, or do you specifically do funds for multifamilies?
I
Is that your
specifically do funds. I specifically do funds for multifamily, 100 units or more, Texas, and then also Southeast. So Georgia, Florida, Tennessee,
okay,
Alabama,
got it.
Charleston, South Carolina. Love it. In fact, I have 160 units in Charleston, South Carolina, and then also 432 units in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, so your lane is multifamily. You build the fund. The income that comes in from the individuals that occupy said place, or occupy a space within the
Yes, that
multifamily,
rental
that
income.
income, that rental income is to everybody in the fund, or how does
Yes,
okay, okay,
everybody in the fund. So
okay,
that's
and
how you
then
get paid your distributions quarterly and monthly. That's how you get paid your distributions. Is everybody over on this side paying their rent?
got it.
And
Okay.
so, like for example, we have the Charleston, South Carolina property. That one we've been raising the rent on that one, which
Mhm.
increases the cash flow for our investors.
Okay. All right. You raising the rent on people down there, like so you can. No, I'm just leaving that alone. So anyway, okay.
Hey,
So
people don't see me. I'm
love it.
behind the
Oh no,
scenes.
you didn't. I told you that's a new thing on the. Oh no, you didn't. So okay. So listen. So now talk about the people you talked about. You said there could be 500,000 folks. There could be, coming in at different income levels. Where do you go find those people? So is it like a group in certain parts, geographies that you go to that usually participate in these types of funds, like, and talk to them a little bit about the financial status or level of people that are usually a part of your fund?
Yes, so people who are that I come across, it depends on the places that I hang out at. So
Okay.
I'm a part of like a private club in Dallas, like a country club.
Okay.
Um, a lot of old money there. So I go there, I talk to people,
Wait,
and know
oh,
me.
oh, money meaning like I had this dollar for a long time? This $1?
Old
No, I'm
money,
just, I know, I'm messing with you.
you know.
You don't have to just explain. I'm just messing. I like having fun.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I took a video of myself in one of the rooms one time, and all you see is white hair.
We are changing the look of that room, my friend, or we're going to create another room. That's what we need. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. And so then just places that I hang out at, or like gyms that I go to.
Okay.
Like I'll go play basketball at Lifetime Fitness, for example. The chances of, well, one, you're gonna pay 200 to about $250 a month to even be at that gym. So the
At a
chances
gym.
of you, yes,
We
that's a
try to
gym.
find 9.99 a month up here. Look, what to be 1 month?
So
Oh my! So you all are really not going to work out. You just going to the gym for the meetings.
I'm going to the gym to work out, but also
Work out
to
and all
meet
that
people.
and all,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I'm like,
Like
wait,
I
we're
might,
trying to. I didn't want to sign up until it was 9.99 because sometimes it's 19.99 a month. 250 a month for a gym in Dallas. Wow.
yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Go
Yep.
ahead.
So anywhere between 200, 250. If you add your spouse on there, that's about 300. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, you're spending 300 a month. So the chances of someone who's spending $300 a month at a gym membership,
Hmm.
the chance of them having the income to invest with me is significantly higher.
Okay.
Especially
Got
when you go into the parking lot, you see a bunch of Teslas, you see Bentleys, you see
it. Make that.
Lambos, you see, yeah, you see a bunch of stuff there. You see a lot there. But
So you pick
the
your
chances of
your
people,
territory to find the people that you
exactly.
want in the fund.
I pick my
Okay.
territories.
Now on your site you had in HNW and UHNW individuals. Now I feel like I should
Yes,
know what that is, but I don't. So I don't want to pretend like I do. What does that mean?
that means high net worth and
Oh,
ultra high net worth individuals.
I felt like I should have known that and I didn't. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay, so now you went to this gym or in this parking lot, you found these people that may be, your target market or are your target market. You start the dialogue. What then do you provide to them for them to, gain interest in what you have going on?
One, I actually build a relationship with them. Like we might be playing basketball together, and they'll see a shirt that says Apex on it, or they'll see like passive income from real estate or something on one of my shirts. And they're like, "Hey man, you're in real estate. What are you doing with that?" Or they'll ask me this question that I always get the assumption. They were like, "Yeah, so are you a realtor?" I'm like, "No, I am not a realtor. I'm a fund manager." And so then we talk and we go into those details. And they're like, "Oh man, send me some information." And so I send them my website.
Okay.
And because they see my website, then they'll go through and they'll learn about me. They'll get to look at that investment calculator, see what it looks like if you invest 50,000 or if you invest 1 million. They can see what the returns look like. And so then we get on the phone call and we talk. Or I might have let's say I do a webinar, for example. I've done webinars in the past, and then those go out on YouTube and stuff. People see those webinars, they contact me. We have a 15, 20-minute conversation. They're wiring $100,000 to me within a week.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I love the branding. So you intentionally go to the gyms and be in the parking lots, and then you wear things for people to ask the question. So like something that is
Exactly.
a statement to make them or say something or have something on for them to actually initiate the conversation with you.
Exactly. I'm
I
going to wear
love
my
it.
brand
I
before I
love
wear
it.
Nike's brand,
Look,
Gucci's brand. I'm not wearing their brand. I don't care about their brand. I'm wearing my brand.
listen, I just taught yesterday. I met with a group of, gosh, what, over almost 100 students. And I told them I used to wear I was a polo girl. I love Ralph Lauren polo. I used to wear that all the time from a clothes perspective. And I said, now
Hmm.
all I wear is it's my money from a shirt perspective. All now I'll have bags of designer bags. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy a good designer
Yep.
bag, but from a clothes perspective, it's always it's my money, my website on the back, or whatever have you. Like it's to the point where I literally had people DMing me, was like, do you have any other clothes? Like to that degree. And I'm like, look, it's all about brand awareness for me. Like I'm at the point in the
Yep.
business. That's what I needed. But anyway, so I love that. So brand awareness, they're asking you, you clarify who you are. And then now when you have that conversation, are there certain things that a potential investor needs from you? Like do you have details on the property, what the potential income may be from, or
Yes, they can
distribution
see all
from
of
that
that stuff.
property? Okay, so you
Yep, they
provide
can
that,
see all
or
of that.
you bring it, or is it somewhere that you give them access to go and check that out?
It's all in my investor portal. So when
Okay,
they sign up into my investor portal, they see all of that
okay,
information. They
now
see
got
how
it.
much they see the private placement memorandum, they see my subscription agreement, they see literally every single thing, operating agreement, the pitch deck, they see the benefits of investing in multifamily passively. All of that stuff is in the investor portal. And then even there's a video that walks them through how to set up their investment with me.
All right. Now the question, I got two final questions. The one final question is, what is the dollar amount of entry point? Like I know people are watching like, oh man, Joseph, this is exactly what I've been wanting to do. I want multifamily. I hear do people generational wealth, buying back the block. Why Apex? I mean, why what does it take? What is the dollar amount if they were interested in working with Apex?
So Apex, it's $100,000 minimum investment. Now, if you're coming in as a group, then I'll drop the minimum to 50,000.
Coming in as
And
a
then
group,
also,
meaning two people at
yeah,
50,
so
so
two
totaling
people,
100.
so each
Okay.
person do 50.
Yep.
So if they have like five people, each person's gonna do 50,000 each. That's perfectly fine. Now, also when I start my other fund, I'll do what's called, so I'm not going to use that word because people don't understand that. What I'll
Yeah.
say is it's for non-accredited investors.
Okay.
So
Got it.
people who are not yet accredited. So that particular fund will even allow 25,000 minimum.
And that's something you're exploring to do a non-accredited fund.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
accredited
I've
means,
done one
again,
before.
tell them what
I've done one.
accredited means. And I know you have the definition of that on your website, but for here, what define accredited investor?
Yes. So an accredited investor is someone who is single, making 200,000 a year, 2 years consecutively from the same income source, or if they're married, $300,000 a year from the same income source 2 years consecutively, or they have a net worth of $1 million excluding their primary residence, because the SEC doesn't count your primary residence as part of your net worth.
Okay. And then a person that's a non-accredited investor, who's that? Anybody that's not that?
Anybody below that is a
Okay.
non-accredited investor. And
Okay,
also,
great.
if you hold a Series 7, then you're also considered a Series 7 or Series 56, then you're also considered an accredited investor.
Okay, got it. Now, why Apex? You're not the only fund manager. Why do you think this is your time to say why anybody, whichever accredited or not, why should they consider their multi-level investing with Joseph, the fund manager at Apex?
Because it's not just me investing. So I'm not by myself in this here. Again, like I said, I work with multiple syndicators. Each one has 5, 10, 20 years of experience. So I basically put together, from a basketball reference, like a 92 dream team. I'm talking
I
about I
love it.
got all the people on my
Wait,
team.
you name a few names because I want to make sure you say the right name. Name a few names you have on your team.
No, I'll tell them, look, Michael Jordan,
Oh, all right. Stop
Magic.
there. Stop there. That's all you had to say. I
Like you
wanted to make
gotta have.
sure his name. You had to have Jordan on that team. Okay, okay,
Oh,
okay.
definitely,
Yes,
definitely. And then I
okay,
might
okay.
bring some new age, bring in LeBron. bring
You
Kobe.
good. You stop that, Jordan. Jordan long, because nowadays I feel like sometimes his name get left out. I'm like, Jordan's name had to be on the dream team. But okay. All right,
Yep.
enough about that. Okay, go ahead with your reference. You got your dream team, and go ahead.
Yep. So yeah, so I basically put all that together. So my investors, they get to benefit through a blended rate of return. So they all receive a blended rate of return from all these great syndicators that I'm working with.
Mm, love it.
So that actually eliminates my I like to say that I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaboration. The best way
Yes.
to turn your the best way to turn your competition into your partners is to invest in them.
Mm, I love it. I
Like
love it. I
so
love it. It's all,
there's no
when I
competition.
got into the financial space, I'm a lot older than some people that I that are now my financial BFFs. And this now I've been now in it almost 8 years, and it was there's so many people, that space is saturated. And I'm like, okay, one of the reasons why I want to get in this space, because a lot of people that's in and about and around me or near me or I've spoken to, there's a debt situation happening, there's a credit lower number happening, and there's all these things that if whoever it's saturated with hasn't touched everybody. So we're not competitors, we're collaborators. I mean, not collaborators, we're colleagues. I didn't say collaborators at the time, I would say colleagues. I'm like, we all have identified a problem, and we are being the solutions to help people overcome that problem that we've identified. So I literally paused on getting in the space some time ago, and I probably should have been in it sooner, because everybody would say I wanted to work with kids. People would say I was past the age that I should work with kids, and people would say, there's so many people in that space. Everybody goes to this person or that person, and I'm glad that I finally said, you want to know what? I'm carving out my own space to begin being one of the people you all refer to. And then I will collaborate with those. And then we can, change the numbers in a positive way for the things that I was experiencing that I experienced myself. And then I experienced through conversations and people gravitating to me because they thought, they've physically saw the transformation in my own life. So I applaud you for saying that, because there are so many things that people don't start because they think so many people or the other person is doing it. It's really important to know that people will buy, will invest, will work with, will get the service from whomever they feel most comfortable with. So don't be afraid. I'm saying this to talking to you, but saying it to the people, like, start, and maybe there's a collaboration, maybe there's a work through whatever it is, but there's no one
Yep.
size. I always say Pepsi and Coke are in the refrigerator in the bodega that's next to the bodega. You know what I mean? So there's
Yep.
places, and people are going to go into the door they want, or they're going to go to Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, whichever door, and then sometimes they don't want that, they want the next thing. So just be service whoever you service well, and that's what I say to people. So anyway, so thank you for saying that and opening that door. So now people heard this wonderful conversation. Thanks for just ensuring that we were defining and doing the 1, 2, 3, 4 step, or ABC step, however you want to call it. But now they want to know more about Joseph. They want to find more about Apex. Where can they do that?
Yes, so to find more about me and Apex, you can go to my website at www.investinapartmentsnow.com.
And that will
You can
be
also,
down in the show notes as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yes, I was going to say you can also find me on Instagram at Joseph Kimbrough and LinkedIn at Joseph Kimbrough.
Amazing. And then if you wanted to say one last thing to people that are listening, and this could go for anybody at whichever level, accredited or not, what would you say if they had the interest in multifamily investing?
I would say don't let the dollar amounts intimidate you on these buildings. That's one thing that it really a lot of people struggle with that. They see $10 million price tags. I would tell you the Phoenix property we just acquired, $131.5 million. That will intimidate a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't let fear intimidate you from being in the space.
Yeah. Love it. Love
You
it.
can't.
Thank you. So, you wanted, did you have something else to add?
I was gonna say, I even did a TEDx talk talking about the power of fear and overcoming yourself to reach your purpose.
And when can they check that out on your site as well? Isn't it there?
It'll be coming. It'll be going up on my website
Yeah.
in a couple weeks.
All right, amazing. And you all, in the show notes will be the website that he just mentioned, as well as his Instagram page. So make sure that you check him out. And thank you again. Thank you, Joseph, for being here and breaking it down for everybody that's interested in you as a fund manager and understanding the roles of a KP, a fund manager, and accredited and non-accredited as it pertains to funds, and more importantly, what you do, multifamily funds. So thank you so much for being on the Money Exchange.
Thank you for having me on.
All right. So you heard it here. Your girl, you asked her about multi-level family investing, and I brought it to you. So make sure you listen to this episode. If you enjoy or have questions, drop the questions below in the comments. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Share it with a friend. And if you are not subscribed and you just stumbled upon this episode, make sure you hit that red subscribe button or follow wherever you're listening. Thanks again, Patrina Dixon, the It's My Money Lady, and drop down. Make sure you jump on our newsletter list so that you can get access to the information, knowing where I'm going to be, where I'm sharing things I have going on that may help you in your financial journey. Make it a great day.